Hello and welcome to the Daily Forex Report for August 9th. We're looking at the U.S.-Japanese yen pair. This pair closed up during this last session, did break slightly above the high there and pulled back, as we have not gotten the breakout quite yet that I was looking for. Nonetheless, we did break that high. So what I'm hoping to see, and even kind of the short-term rather, trend has been up as far as the lows go. So hopefully we'll see it continue on up to some of our take profit points. Now let's take a look. Overall, this pair's been moving sideways. We are looking for it to potentially go as high as 79.05, possibly as low as 77.95. Look for some resistance to the upside around 78.75, and look for some support around 78.25. Now the Euro-USD pair, this pair closed lower, but if you notice, it pulled back a substantial amount after running into previous areas of support. We are looking for it to go potentially as high as 124.35, possibly as low as 121.79. Look for some resistance around 124.05, and look for some support around 122.64. Now the pound-US dollar pair, this pair closed down during this last session. We are looking for it to potentially go up and hit, or potentially go as high as 157.34, possibly as low as 155.46. Look for some resistance around 156.85, and look for some support around 155.75. Now overall, this pair has been short-term moving sideways. If we back out a little ways, you can see what it's been doing long term. By and large, just moving sideways and consolidating down. I am looking for a breakout from that at some point, so keep an eye on it. The US Swiss overall moving up. Past couple of sessions, it's been, past couple of weeks actually, it's been moving to the downside with a couple up bars here and there, but nonetheless, still looking for this one potentially to go as high as 0.9836, possibly as low as 0.9660. Look for some resistance around 0.9805, and look for some support around 0.9685. Okay, as far as news announcements go, we do have some news announcements tomorrow at 2 a.m. Eastern. We have the German Consumer Price Index being released for July, which will affect the euro. Consensus on that is that it's held at 1.7%. Then at 2 a.m. we also have, well, actually a little bit later at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we have the unemployment rate for Canada being released for July. They're showing a hold of numbers at 7.2%. Then they have net change in employment for July being released at 8:30 a.m. Eastern as well, showing a slight drop from 7.3K down to 6.0K. Okay, so what am I looking for during this next session? Well, overall, I know it doesn't look like it here, but if we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, overall, the Euro-USD has been tracking to the upside by and large. Now, we've come close to breaking or touching this trend line to the downside that would basically reverse our thinking that we're heading lower. But if we look at what happened today, came down and hit previous areas of support and then pulled back significantly prior to the close. We may fill that area over this next session, but I could see actually us closing, or the euro closing up for this next session, down to the low about 40 pips. Let's actually take a look at this on the 15-minute time frame. You can see that pulled back significantly. There we go. Well, maybe one more. Okay. You can see that it moved higher and then basically dropped like a rock. A lot of potential there as far as money made. You have somewhat of an M formation there before the drop, not to mention a trend line break before a very strong move to the downside of roughly 100 pips or so before a strong retracement to back up. And you notice right around 19, at least on my MetaTrader, basically around noon Eastern, you get a reversal and it starts climbing higher and has done so. I could envision it moving lower during this next session, testing this low and then reversing up. If it doesn't reverse up, of course, we'll get a strong move to the downside. So definitely keep that in mind. We've just had a couple of sessions in a row of closing lower, and typically if we see three in a row, three in a row, at that point the odds are pretty good that we'll see a move to the upside. It may not be a day that closes up, but nonetheless at least a strong pullback. So definitely keep an eye on this pair, looking for it to reverse basically and close a little bit higher during this next session, which should allow on lower time frames to grab some profit out of it during the next session. So definitely keep an eye on this pair. I hope that helps, and until next time, this is Jason Fielder. Good trading.